So finally, we're in the 29th slide. Yes, or the last 28th slide, we can discuss variance. What is variance? Variance is the difference between plan and actual performance. Yeah, of course. So what's the point? Yeah, I think. Yeah, whatever. It happens, that you plan something. It's always that it never goes to plan, but it's a good idea to have an idea, a measure of how much difference we did. I mean, how much, less. How much improve we did on variance? I mean, variance will be there, but maybe improve on each project. So that's variance. The idea of practice calling idea of problems. Yeah, user input. If you have a problem, awesome, cool website, and the users are not interacting with it. For example, the manager is not getting the documents from there, then the clients are not doing it, so it's a wasted ID project. Incomplete requirements specification, lack of the support. So the executives are not really very much, they are excited about the idea, so they won't help the ID project if the ID project, some problems is faced. Technology incompetence, for example, what we are expecting, we don't have technology for it. Lack of resources, we don't have the developers for it. Our expectation, we want to make a car that flies, or a room that has virtual reality to the Jurassic Park thing. So yeah, these are some unrealistic expectations, of course, unclear objectives. We want to better our company. That's an unclear objective, bro. I mean, how are you gonna improve the company in terms of IT by this time on that aspect? That is clarity. Unrealistic time frames. We're gonna get that done by 1 month. No, bro, that's gonna take 6 months in minimum, and even that will probably have some delay. So that is one of the causes of an IT project problem. New technology. We are going with some thing like auto voice sensor initiation of rockets. Yes, Range Rover has a new technology that can turn the car on just listening on your voice. But yes, I don't think that's a good idea to put on rockets so early. I mean, no. I mean, what if the rocket is waiting and a kid just comes in and says, yeah, and it just flies off? Yeah, that's not what you want. So new technology, unless it's very reliable and used by hundreds and thousands of people and so stable that probably there has been bugs and bugs, and it has been fixed over at least 3-4 years, and now it's fine. Then you can go on with it. Are you gonna use a server if you're running Apache or a Node.js? Yes, you can run Node.js now because there are a lot of other people doing it. Yes, now 5 years back, not a good idea. But now, yes, not a bad idea. So technology, yes, it's important. Moving on to the next slide. Best practice for avoiding school problems. Ooh, yes, we're gonna make it realistic. Don't make projects so large that they can't be completed. Break the large into smaller pieces. Yes, as we discussed earlier. Users have to be involved. Well, for example, if you're making some really cool search engine, I think I remember I saw a Google video where they would call up some really young engineers and these people and that people and put them in for a team, and they say, they would make them work with some really genius engineers, because engineers now get an idea of what actually users looking for. So users involvement has to be important, and you can never ever compromise what users actually expect by letting an engineer imagine it. And you have to get users first-hand experience, and comment from himself. Keep them ownership requirements definition. Yes, users should give them proud. You are important. You are gonna make this successful. So write down whatever you think is important. We can't just let engineers decide. Engineers can just code. They can define maybe a little requirements, but the full definition, proper successful definition, can only be done by user himself. So that's it. Use off-the-shelf hardware software whenever possible. Oh my god, I mean, who knows it better than me? Because I always have the bad habit to make it all from scratch because you know how to learn it. No, bro. When it comes to projects, don't do that. When you want to learn it, okay, do that. But projects, of course, go with open source. Same as open source, bro. People have spent thousands of hours doing that and making this table, and you're gonna make it once again. Oh my god. Well, yeah. Hopefully. We can't just get the latest technology, but we should get something not trendy, but what is stable. Yeah, follow the project management processes. We just won't go with, we need to be, one of the most cool people around here. We're not gonna do whatever comes across. No, follow it, write down the plan, answer the questions of users, and then do that and do this, write down and this scope shadow and all this crazy thing. Yes. Suggestions, okay. It look with project selection process and sponsor from the users. Some of the sponsors are um, 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 have users in the project team important roles, pretty important, very important. I said, some people called up some, students from different universities to be on the teams and give them some really prioritized roles. Have regular meetings with different agendas and have users sign up and keep deliver to the meetings. I know, I think users are not client globally. I don't know what the user, and you can't just call it user just in a company to show a product which is not even it's in the middle of development, but I don't know. There was something to use in response on a regular basis. Very important, we have to keep it updating on, what we have reached this level. You can give it a try. What do you think about it? Let us know. Yeah, moving on. Don't just, go off in Antarctica, start building and come back after, 6 months, all frozen and become an igloo guy and say, this I have made in 6 months. What do you think? Of course, it will be bad because, you haven't told us about, how is it going, and we didn't have the time to give you feedback. You probably deliver when you know you can't. So just say, but yeah. So you can't just promise to deliver. I promise I'm gonna. No, I'm gonna try. And if the client say, okay, try, it's not good enough, and you can say, I'm sorry, I don't think I can go with it. I don't have the experience. Co-locate users with developers. Well, just repeat the same point. I mean, the user has to be part of the team. The developers, the engineers, and all this kind of thing. Not don't just saying, okay, you can take the place of a user. No, you can't. It's time for prayer. I'm gonna take a break. Just 3 more slides left. Thank you very much.